Hi. First time posting here but have enjoyed the stories. Some 15 years ago, I worked in local shipyard that focuses in repair work and refitting of all ship types. The yard resides in Europe. Now it is important to note we have a 200+ meter dry dock and roughly the same in pier for outfitting. At this particular time, we had 2 medium passenger ferries docked and they were moored on both sides of the dry dock's dam, leaving 50 meters between them, mostly water. I had a newish boss on the job after my old boss had retired. The new boss was very stuck up and entitled, so we shall call him Entitled Boss, or Ed. Other people that come up in this story is me, my coworker, let's call him Matt, not his real name, and the first officer of the other ship. Let's call him FO. It is normal for our yard to be understaffed by a lot, by half in the least. So a normal workday was between 12 to 16 hours 6 to 7 days a week. We were well paid for all overtime, so we didn't mind. We were really busy on these ships and they were moored aft to aft, so we were able to lift all materials on their aft ramps with a crane. I worked with crane as the guy who arranges the lifts and communicates with the operator at the pier. Matt did the same shipside. We worked well together and had done that together a lot. I was in my late 20s, Matt was in his 50s. This one morning Ed comes to us to let us know of a new job. Ed, I have a small extra job for you to do since you are not that busy. Me, there are about 20 lifts on the pier and more always comes during the day. I noted to him. Matt was quite silent, he never really talked much anyway. Ed, I have a dredge coming in 2 hours. You will lift the bucket and the bucket arm off the dredge. A quick job, just lift the 3 things off. You should be done in 30 minutes. Me, just 30 minutes? Ed, yes, they are detached already. Me, okay, boss. Matt looked doubtful. We started working lifting all we could in 2 hours. Then we saw the dredge. This thing was big. The bucket was 60 tons alone and the 2 sections of the arm were 60 tons and 80 tons. Oh, and the heavier bit was still attached. At this point I groaned. But Matt grinned from ear to ear and told me. Matt, boss's orders. Boss's responsibility. Then I grinned. Cue malicious compliance. We got to work, we set the crane in position in a way it was closest to the dredge due to weight. This also meant it blocked any other cranes from lifting to either ferries anything. We got the bucket unloaded on a trailer. This took an hour. Then we lifted the other half of the arm, this took an hour to attach to the crane. Oops, lunchtime. Union rules. Then 1 more hour to unload it. Now the last arm bit was tricky, we had to suspend it from the crane and remove the pins that held it to the digger half of the dredge. The pins are relatively small, only 200 kilograms, or 440 lb, each and held in place by few tons of pull or weight of the arm. I took us 4 hours to free the pins. So any of who are keeping track at this point, we were 7.5 hours into a half-hour job. At this point, some crew from both ships and lot of people from the shipyard were watching us work. This was due to the fact nothing had been lifted to either ship in the past 7 to 8 hours, and guys had to stop working. This is when I met a very exited and red FO of the ship. FO, what the hell are you doing? Why are we not getting materials in? Me, you need to talk to him. His orders. As I pointed Ed on the dock. Not quite sure what was said, but the FO probably tore him a new one and proceeded to stomp back on board his ship. I saw him exchange a few words with the captain of the ship and the captain was dialing his phone. It took about 5 minutes for our CEO to get to the pier and proceeded to chew my boss's rear. I am pretty sure he was sitting funny after that. We finished the job right around 8 hours and proceeded to lift our backed up lift queue on board the ships. For some weird reason, he never told me how to do my job or had any quick jobs after that. As I had heard, he was let go a few years later. Just be clear, these lifts were difficult due to having to adjust the lifting cable lengths and parts being so heavy. Also, the attachment point were fairly high up and the cable we used to lift the weigh around 10 tons, so we never stalled on the job, not our style, but we were very thorough in our work that day. Also, we broke a winch pulling the other pin and had get a new one, this took some time and explaining.